I'm Ray.
And I'm Veronica.
And welcome to the Chick Lit Book Club podcast,
where we read a romance novel and then we talk about it. Today we're talking about Suddenly You by Lisa Kleypas.
Hello, my darling.
Hello, darling.
See, I'm trying not to do the British accent.
Yeah, because we just keep doing it.
I know. It's like it is just ingrained in us. I don't know why.
I don't know why. It makes no sense.
I'm holding it all in for when I do an Irish accent later.
I am not going to even a little bit attempt that because I will butcher it, and I just don't want to offend everyone.
I'm
Literally
okay with
everyone.
offending everybody. It's fine.
Okay, well,
Just
that's
kidding.
fine.
I'm teasing. It's fine. Just our Irish audience. Do we know we have an Irish audience?
No, I'm pretty sure we don't. Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, girl.
Speaking to the Irish.
Yeah. I am like a very teeny tiny bit Irish. My husband is more Irish than I am.
I'm same. My mom is a little bit, so I'm a little bit. I'm more Scottish than I am.
Yeah.
So I don't like to spend money and drink. What?
Right, exactly. We had Guinness. And we did get corned beef carryout.
Nice.
I won't say the name.
On Sunday.
I see. Okay, so when I was like meal planning for the 2 weeks, I just like it totally skipped my mind that like when I got to the 17th, that was St. Patrick's Day because I never know what day it is. So I just like completely messed that up. So we just ended up getting takeout.
Where'd you get it from?
Which was fine. Well, we ended up getting it from Melt because Slyman's was they were literally like, please don't call us.
Please just fucking go away.
We're very much over capacity. Please do not call us.
Well, and so
we were like, okay.
And I don't like corned beef. So
I only eat it like once a year. I mean, I eat it on St. Patrick's Day.
Well, and why.
I will say it was quite delicious, and it was on marble rye, which was wonderful.
See, I'll make brisket instead.
And I had too many Guinness.
Well, I mean, that's what the day is for. Mm-hmm. I had a, not PC, Irish car bomb. Yeah, I know the Irish now really hate me. What? But that's what we call your drink. I'm sorry. We call it a black and tan, which isn't PC either, because it was about the Irish people that went and served in the English army. So, come on, you black and tan. Come on, fight me like a man.
So, wow. Yeah. Was it? We have talked about this before, but I don't remember if it was on the podcast or not. There was a movie that was filmed in Cleveland about the like Irish mob dude who they tried to kill many times.
Oh, Kill the Irishman.
Was it called Kill the Irishman?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I forgot his name.
Movie. I also forget his name.
Yeah, I believe that's.
I think they eventually got him with a car bomb, right?
Directed by blah blah blah. Ray Stevenson, Vincent D'Onofrio, and Christopher Walken. It's about Danny Green.
Yes.
Danny Green. I think it's just Danny Green.
Yes, just Danny Green.
Yep.
Didn't they eventually get him with a car bomb?
That I don't know. I did not.
Because they tried like 9 times. I think it was eventually a car bomb.
Yes, Killing Green, Ferrito. I would assume that's part of the Italian mob. Detonates a bomb on the car next to Green's, killing Green instantly. So yes. Oh, I wonder if Christopher Walken does a horrible Irish accent in that, like he does in Irish Mountain Time, or the hell that thing is called.
Oh yeah. I would have to go back. I haven't seen that movie in years.
I haven't seen it. Although my dad remembers because he went to John Carroll around that time, and he remembers that kind of stuff that was going on there. So, Veronica.
Cleveland's remembered for weird stuff. Remember the time our river caught on fire?
I was just gonna say, remember when our river catching fire, serial killers.
You're welcome for the EPA.
Yeah. Woohoo! Remember when that guy had like 14 women in his basement?
Oh my God. Remember when the balloon thing happened and like there were just.
Do you remember 10-cent beer night?
Yes.
Okay.
Reason. Do you remember when people?
I mean, we don't remember these things because we were children.
We were children, or we weren't born yet. Do you remember the reason? I'm actually a little proud of this as a Clevelander. The reason that every single stadium you go into has plastic beer bottles is because Clevelanders threw glass bottles at our own players.
Yeah, well, at least we're not Philadelphia and throw batteries at our there.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to put a plug in here since we're talking about this. So I was discussing with Veronica earlier about called The Dollop. The Dollop is a comedy podcast about American history. They cover they cover the 10-cent beer night. They cover Balloon Fest.
Man.
They cover. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that they do cover and all about Cleveland. And those two, like literally the first couple of episodes, and they're hysterical. And yes, we should be sort of ashamed, but we're not because we don't give a fuck.
We're not. Actually, Stuff You Missed in History Class does a great episode about like pollution in the 70s. And although we joke about like good, you're welcome for the EPA, the Cuyahoga River was only like one of many river fires in that time period. There were many. And they cover that on the podcast.
Cool. I love that podcast because I've listened to that one about the Haunted Mansion a number of times.
Yes.
And
they
how
love the
many
Haunted
people
Mansion.
drop the ashes of
ashes
their
in
death.
yes.
Oh my gosh.
Please, PSA, please do not dump the ashes of human remains into bodies of water.
Well,
but definitely not into like...
Or in the Haunted Mansion because they sweep them up and they vacuum them up.
Yes, they have to stop the entire... Because it's extremely unsanitary. So they have to stop the entire ride and then drain all the water and then sanitize everything and then start over. So like, please don't do that.
Yeah.
Please?
Yeah.
Please.
Veronica.
We went a little off track there.
That's okay. Veronica.
Yes, dear.
What's your bright spot? Tell me something good.
We're singing tonight.
I know.
She's singing
really
tonight.
singy tonight.
It's really singing tonight. So my bright spot from this week was a feat to accomplish.
Okay.
But last night I was able to secure a vaccine appointment for my husband. So next week he gets his first dose of the vaccine, and I could not be more excited because he's high risk, and like it's been so like that part for me. I mean, I fully recognize that I also need to get vaccinated, but I'm younger than him. I don't meet the age cutoff in Ohio yet, so like I don't qualify yet. But for like this whole time for him, I've been far more worried for him because if he gets it, his body will have a harder time than hopefully mine would.
It's all one step closer to normalcy.
One fucking step closer to normalcy. My mom has gotten her first vaccine. Mm-hmm. She should be getting her second, like, whenever they are like, hey, we have one. I'll get it as soon as I can. But, like, just getting him an appointment felt like such a hurdle, and it's such a shit show. Mm-hmm. In Ohio trying to get an appointment right now.
I was like,
it took 2 hours. And not like straight. Like I did a little bit and then went away furious and then came back for like a solid hour, maybe an hour and a half, like trying to get this appointment booked.
That's ridiculous.
Apparently the trick is you have to do it in the middle of fucking night. Or just refresh constantly.
Because, I would assume they're like, well, no one has jobs, so let's just go have them do. I'm like, well,
right. Like that was the advice that people were giving me most of the time was like, you just have to keep refreshing the website. And I was like, excuse me, do you not? I mean, I recognize we are literally in the middle of a pandemic and like a lot of people have lost their jobs, but I am one of the fortunate that that has kept a job. And so I still have a job that I cannot be refreshing a website every 10 minutes to see if there are new. That's not a thing. I can't do that.
Do you want to hear something really frustrating?
Yes.
I mean, do you?
In the middle of tell me something good? Yeah.
Okay, well, so there's been 2 times I've heard is that CVS will be like, whoever's there towards the end of the night, if they don't have anybody to give, they'll be like, do you want a vaccine?
The thing is, they have to because they go bad.
And I'm like...
So there are like lists that you can get on. Mm-hmm.
But still pisses me off. I'm like, so we're just, yeah.
That's why, like, so they can only order so many at a time because if they have too many, then they go bad. I mean, I know there are places like in New York, especially, where if they have overflow at the end of the night, like, they can put out the word, we have 15 or 20 or 100 vaccines that are going to go bad tomorrow. We need to get rid of them. Yeah. And there will be a line around the block. Which, awesome. Like, please.
You know what? It's your patriotic fucking duty.
Please
do it for you, not even yourself, not just yourself, but others around you.
Everyone around you.
You're doing it for America. You're doing it for America, okay?
Doing it for America. Please get the vaccine.
My bright spot is that I am now fully vaccinated.
Yeah.
And you asked me today what, like, it felt like being fully vaccinated, and I'm gonna stick with it. It is weirdly patriotic. You feel like, yes, I have done this. I mean, yes, I feel good. A part of me feels that survivor's guilt of being vaccinated when others aren't, like you. But at the same time, like,
it's fine.
It's like, but now I won't spread this.
Right. I'm not angry that anyone is getting the vaccine before me. I have a lot of vaccine envy. Like, I want it too. Yeah. But I'm so grateful for every single person. I get emotional every time I see a photo of someone like with a freaking Band-Aid on their arm and a mask on their face. Every time I get emotional. When you send me your car selfies both times after your appointments, I was like tears in my eyes because I'm probably going to cry when I get it. Yeah. Because I
better get a car selfie from you.
I will send a selfie. I will I'll probably also be crying. So,
and I'm going to tell you, the first shot was a little bit like we had to wait. I had to wait. I mean, I have to wait longer because I'm allergic to penicillin. But
right.
The second time I snuck out. Just don't tell anybody. I was like, I was fine the first time. I think I'm going to be fine. Like, it gets to be like 15 minutes. Like, I think I'm good. But the first one was a little bit more of a process. The second one, in and out. They were like, sit here, get your shot, sit here, get your shot, sit here. Because I think they figure since you already, like, there's probably not, if you didn't have a reaction the first time, you're not going to have a reaction
probably
the second
won't.
time.
Yeah. It's the same ingredients. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
Same shit. It's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So
that's my bright
good.
spot.
I moved. Oh, yeah. And you also moved. You've had a busy week, girl.
I did. FYI, don't put pasta in a fucking garbage disposal.
That's so weird, though. I put pasta in mine all the time. I mean,
I put mine in my old one, but I think.
Do you know what kind the new one is that you have?
It's old. I have no idea. It's probably 20 years old or something like that. I have no idea.
We installed ours because we didn't have one when we bought this house.
That's probably because yours is newer.
Yeah, ours is newer, and it's an incinerator. It's really good.
That's what mine was at my old house. So
yeah,
and I know I put pasta on that one.
There aren't actually blades in incinerators anymore.
No, that's right. This one has blades in it. Well, guess what? TikTok pasta, your feta pasta. That's a bunch of bullshit. Because that's what it was.
That's what it was.
Because I forgot it in the freezer or refrigerator when they moved my refrigerator. I was like, oh fuck, and I opened it. I'm like, because. Okay, FYI, for anybody who's making that TikTok pasta, you need at least 2 things of feta because no. Also 3, no. It was okay. It was not spectacular. Everyone's like, it's so good. I'm like, really? Because I can make.
I was kind of turned off by like the sound of it when like she was stirring it. I was like,
what?
It was just like really.
Was it a smushy sound? Like
yeah, like
yeah, no. So anywho, should we talk about a book?
We should talk about a book.
So we read Lisa Kleypas's. I did say that right?
I think it's Kleypas. Yeah,
Lisa Kleypas.
We looked it up beforehand.
Yeah, and of course, it was out of my head. Suddenly you. So we will see you on the flippy.
Yeah. God, I'm a loser.
What's that, Luna? Oh, you want to start a podcast? Okay, so what's it going to be about? History of the Byzantine Empire and how it relates to the Holy Roman Church through its culture, religious practices, and societal norms? Wow, that's intense. So how are you going to distribute your podcast to the world? Anchor.fm? Good call, Loons. You know that Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other platforms. That way you can spend more time chasing your brother Sherman and soaking up some sunbeams. I know Sherman can be a jerk, but he's just a cat, remember? And the other thing, it has everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Anchor.fm is like one-stop podcast creation. Plus, it's free. I mean, as a podcast spokesdog, you have no idea why things hold monetary meaning, but just know free is a good thing. Yes, so everyone should download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Okay, there's no need for that language. I think our enthusiasm is enough to encourage people to try it out. Seriously, Byzantine history, not like a dog treat or most doggy accessible park review? Okay, I mean, fine, but if you have more listeners than us, no busy bones for like a week. Oh, I mean a day. Ugh, I can't stay mad at you. And we're back.
And we're back.
Hello.
Hello. I guess I come back from the break in my phone sex operator voice. So
I like it every single damn time.
I'm glad. I hope that other men find it enjoyable
Other
later
men?
when I'm.
I mean,
my husband thinks it's weird.
I was like, I know I have a low voice, Veronica.
Yeah, we both do.
But hello, I've got a man's voice. Hello. It's my Johnny Cash voice.
Oh my God.
Do you want me to tell you about this book?
Yeah. Yes. Sorry. I really... This was my first Lisa Kleypas. And I know you really like her.
I do.
And so I was just really excited to read something from her.
I do. And I have to say, so I've read, give you a little bit of insight of where I'm coming from these books. I've read all the Wallflowers. I have not read all the Ravenels. I have read all of the Hathaway siblings. One of my favorites is Married by Morning, which is Catherine Marks and Leo, the one Hathaway brother. Oh, it's so good. And I do like the latest one I read of the Hathaway, the last one. Oh gosh, what is her name? I can't think of it right now. I should have looked it up. That one is another one where I said, you find out, he's in love with her within, 30%. So it's them dealing with being in love with each other for the rest of the book. And it's so sweet. And, my heart.
I love the falling in love part, but I also love the, how are we going to coexist as humans?
Right.
Together in our lives now.
And
I like that part,
she's
too.
so quirky. She's so... I'm going to have to look it up because I do not remember her name. And she's so sweet. And she's obsessed with animals. So she already had me at animals. But I want to say it's Beatrice, but that's not it. And so he actually snubbed her. It's a very Darcy-esque sort of thing, where he snubbed her as what a weirdo. She likes, animals and shit. But...
Do you happen to identify with this character?
Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. As my cats are running around in the background. One's looking at me right now. But then the other series, the Wallflower series, is fantastic. The best one of them is Devil in Winter, about Sebastian St. Vincent, who...
I want to read that one.
Oh, he is a dick. I mean, he... is not.
So this does play well into my general interest.
Maybe a little bit. So
perfect.
Sebastian St. Vincent is the bad guy, but you don't know he's a bad guy until the end of It Happened One Autumn. He might kidnap someone.
Perfect.
But she
this tracks.
Yeah, but she fucking stands her ground and was like, get the fuck out. I'm in love with your friend. He totally kidnaps his best friend's fiance. So
perfect.
But Devil in Winter is fantastic too, because it is the one character, Evie.
I love that name.
Yeah, Evangeline, who has a stutter, and she's one of the Wallflowers, and she goes to him in the middle of the night. And was like, I need you to marry me. I have this money. I don't want to marry my cousin. You need to marry me. Yeah.
Who wants to marry their cousin?
Well, in England, they did that a lot. I know. And it's so good. It's so good. She comes from like a gambling, like her father owned gambling, gaming hells. So, anyhow, so Suddenly You is different because it does not.
Different.
It is a standalone. There is no series to this. So
it could be a series.
Oh,
we talked about this.
Totally could be a series.
Yeah.
But she never. And I want to say this was written in 2009. So I don't see it becoming a series.
Probably not at this point.
No. She continued on with the Ravenels and did not continue with this. But so she was unmarried, untouched, and almost 30. But novelist Amanda Byers wasn't about to greet her next birthday without making love to a man. When he appeared at her door, she believed he was her gift to herself, hired for one night of passion. Unforgettably handsome, irresistibly virile, he tempted her in ways she never thought possible. But something stopped him from completely fulfilling her dream. Jack Devlin's determination to possess Amanda became greater when she discovered his true identity. But gently bred Amanda craved respectability more than she admitted, while Jack, the cast-off son of a nobleman and London's most notorious businessman, refused to live by society's rules. Yet when fate conspired for them to marry, their worlds collided with a passionate force neither had expected, but both soon craved.
Oh. I was just like dancing through that.
I'm so happy that you enjoyed this because
of course I did. Oh my god!
I was worried. I did because I had to find what I hadn't read.
Right. Really had to like dig deep.
Yeah. When we get to the Amanda Quick at some point, it was the same way. I was like, which one had I been like going around? I'm like, I can't read this one. I can't read this one.
Right.
Yeah. So. On our podcast, we do a little thing called the compliment sandwich, where we talk about the pros and the cons, and it's kind of like a sandwich. So your pros are going to be your buns, and your cons are going to be the meat inside. Well, it's Lent, so it's going to be the fish or the cheese inside. That look on your face. Come on, I had meat today. What are you talking about?
I'm trying to think of what I ate today.
I would laugh if you didn't have meat today.
Actually, I don't think I had it.
You're the one who actually...
It was an accident.
Uh-huh. I had a tuna melt.
No, really, I didn't even remember what day it was. I'm not exactly a practicing Catholic at this juncture.
I'm not either, so... I know it's Lent. St. Joseph.
I never know what day it is.
It's St. Joseph.
Ever. It is. I know. I remember your text from this morning.
He could get
it. It's what I woke up to.
He could get it. When you get a text with a cartoon of St. Joseph looking like, I don't even know.
That picture of St. Joseph was really attractive. It made me uncomfortable.
It made me real uncomfortable. I was like, St. Joseph, get it. I'm going to hell. That's fine.
That's okay. I'll be right next to you.
That's fine.
As long as we're together.
As long as we're together with St. Joseph.
Hello.
So, would you have some pros for me, baby?
Girl, I do.
Nice.
Okay, so my first pro is Amanda. So the heroine's name is Amanda, and there's a lot that I like about her, but the thing that I love the most about her is how, I get frustrated with Regency era romances because of just the time, the time and how repressed women were. They couldn't own anything. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't have careers. Just how held back they were in society in general, and all the double standards that applied to them. They apply now too, but we can fucking vote and have jobs, So it's it's just a little different. And in the technical sense of the word, men can't own us.
Right.
But So anyway,
they own our hearts.
Oh, fucking hell. Okay, so Amanda is fierce as fuck. Yeah. She is super independent. She blatantly says, I don't want to get married because I don't want to forfeit my independence. Mm-hmm. She has a career, which most women that time cannot and do not have. She's a published author. She's really smart and talented and makes a living on her own. She got an inheritance when she took care of both of her parents when they died. Mm-hmm. She got an inheritance from them. She also sold the house so that she could have some more savings basically and leave Windsor. She moved to London and like bought her own place, lives on her own, and she's turning 30. So she's considered a spinster, which of course, as we know, is like fuck everything. Like a 30-year-old single woman is fine.
Now we're thinking it's okay to be being like so young. Fuck off.
Right. I mean, 30 was a while ago for me. So like,
a lot
it
longer
was a
for
great
me.
day. But still, I know. I love you. So, but the thing is, like, Amanda doesn't fucking need a man. Like, she really just doesn't need or want a man dragging her down in her life. She wants to continue being a published, respected author. She wants to keep doing everything she's been doing. But she's like, I am a 30-year-old virgin because society.
Yeah.
And so the opening prologue, the prologue of this book is her walking into like a prostitute, like into a madam. And it's like, I would like to hire a male prostitute, please. Yep. For my birthday. Please have him come to my house.
You know, and there have been other books. There's another book, and I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's similar. It has a similar sort of, and it's, you know, the guy didn't realize that, you know, that she was, whatever. It's the same, but, and I had started that book, the other one, that very similar plot, and this one it's more, she's doing it for more respectable reasons. Like, I respect her more. In this other book, it was kind of like she just didn't want to be a virgin. It was like, well, yeah, but
I mean, her first time kind of sucks anyway, right? Like,
right. I mean, probably back then they didn't know that. They thought it was going to be like,
no, probably not. I mean,
but, like there's just, this one was, well, I mean, we'll get to it, but holy God, I mean,
literally like the second chapter or something.
Fingering. I mean, there's like,
fingering in like second chapter.
Oh my God, like, and hot fingering, like not like not cold fingering. I mean, that'd be like weird, but
that'd
like,
be weird.
We put my fingers in ice first and then fingering.
Not so much romance there.
No,
not really all that hot.
But it was like one of those like, this is fucking hot, man. Like second, I mean, and explicit. Which was fantastic.
Fine.
We're all both okay with it.
Yeah, totally fine with it.
But yes.
But no. I was like, wow, we are just jumping right in there.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, like, I was, at first, I kind of rolled my eyes. I'm like, okay. Because, again, I'd had that experience with the other book. And this one, I was like, oh, okay. I see you.
I see you, girl.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And you and I said I was going to, like, probably, just because Amanda, I liked Amanda. I did. I really did like her. There are other, and because I coming from the Lisa Kleypas, you know, background where I know so many of the other heroines, or I was like, some of them were more my favorites. So,
right.
Although looking back at it, it's like, now that you know, as you laid your case out, I'm like, yeah, that does make sense. I mean, she is her own person.
She is her own person, and she's unapologetic about it. She really doesn't. I mean, she says to Jack, like, I don't want to get married. I don't want to lose my independence. Nothing about that seems appealing to me. Mm-hmm. Which, you know, legit, preach, girl. Like, that's extremely forward thinking for her time. I think it's great. She has a quote here.
I would laugh. It's the same thing as I have. Go
on. She says, I've always thought it would be the worst kind of horror to be trapped in a loveless marriage. Mm-hmm. So many women are forced to marry because of pure economics. If more women were able to support themselves, there would be fewer reluctant brides and unhappy wives.
Think about that, though. Like, you couldn't literally, I mean, which was unusual that she could still own the house that she lived in. Mm-hmm. Because at that point, I don't believe that the law had come through that she could own property.
I don't remember. I'm not entirely clear of what year it is.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know. And I think that law didn't come into effect until like 1870, where women could own land in England. And maybe it's because it's bequeathed to her. Maybe it's different. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but she sold it.
That's
I mean,
true.
it was bequeathed to her. You're right. But then she sold the Windsor property, which her sisters were pissed about. Actually, she doesn't have any brothers.
Oh, that's right.
So maybe that's why.
Yeah.
because there were no men to leave it to.
That's true. Well,
because
and
they probably would have taken precedence.
Well, it would have gone to a cousin unless there was no cousin to give it to.
Unless there were no cousins. She doesn't mention anything about cousins.
No, which great. Yeah, I'm so glad we're not anywhere close to that.
Like we were saying earlier, is there a better time in which you'd like to live? Because it feels like maybe now is the best time in which to be alive.
Oh God, a time traveler going back to that time. Woo, what?
Woo. I mean, it would be a hell of a culture shock, you know?
The smell alone.
Yep.
Well, there's another one that made me think. I thought maybe you'd have the same one I did, and I just lost it because why wouldn't I? Okay, so she is. I'm not exactly sure. It's one of the first times. Oh, it's towards the end. So like they're kind of expressing their love to one another, but she does say, to her utter disgust, she found herself near tears, like the witless heroines of the sensational novels she always enjoyed making jest of. Her mouth trembled as she struggled to control her explosive emotions. I mean, she does. She's very much, now that you mentioned that, she is very much like, no, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, she just really has no interest in like...
It's formulaic.
She kind of hates herself a little bit when she finally starts to realize how she feels about the hero.
She makes him, not makes him, but he has to force her to believe that she's beautiful.
Yeah. She has really low self-esteem. I think in large part because she's not shaped the way that she's curvy. Mm-hmm. And so I think because her sisters, it seemed to me like her sisters were not necessarily shaped that way.
They were the classic at that point. What would be classically beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Right. So because she is maybe a little heavier or maybe just hourglass shaped, I don't know. I mean, I'm not entirely clear exactly what that means, but she makes many, many comments about being self-conscious about how large her body is. Mm-hmm. Of course, Jack has no problem with it.
I was just going to say,
because a real man doesn't have a fucking problem with that. But
he does not.
He does fucking not.
I mean, you and I were discussing who was going to talk about Jack Devlin first, but I mean...
Well, why don't you discuss your top bun, lady?
My top bun is Jack Devlin's penis. What? Okay, so I have one thing that I have to share with you. So Jack Devlin is a publisher. He's become like I'm trying to think like a Rupert Murdoch of the book world and publishing world in 1918 whatever
this
England.
is.
He's
a media giant. I mean, he is
and he talks about how much he's going to buy, what pieces and parts he's going to buy, and
he's a very savvy businessman.
He is. He's Irish. He's
half Irish.
He would call the Black Irish because he's got the black hair and blue eyes, and he is from his mother was a maid, right?
I don't remember. Maybe.
I think
I forget.
She wasn't a prostitute. She was a maid that his father, who was like a lord, got pregnant and kicked her out, and so a bastard son. But he was sent to this horrible school, and I can't.
His mom died.
His mom passed away, and his father took, pretty much care of him by sending him to this school that all the other bastard children were sent
boys
to.
Specifically.
Boys, yeah. And I mean, pretty much there were many of them died. But he had this group. He always looked
abused.
up. Yeah, they were seriously abused. Imagine Boys Town here. I mean, pretty much bad news bears.
Yeah.
But he would take care of the little ones. And he was not that much older than them. And in some cases younger than some of the ones he was taking care of. But because he was very much taller and bigger than some of the kids, that he would take care of them. But he is a sensual being. Let's just say that he. I will have to say, having read so many Lisa Kleypas, this was the most explicit one that I've read. And now I'm not complaining.
No, not complaining.
No. So I have this, just to give you an idea. So, and quite quickly after, so to set up, because this is very couple first chapters. So Jack goes to see Amanda because he has the rights to her book and he wants to publish it. Well, he goes to see him. He ends up talking to his friend who was a madam before, and she's like, "Oh, I don't even how did she tell him to go see her?"
She said, "Go by her house on like this date at this time.
She should be
I think
there.
she will be receptive of you."
Yeah. Well, little did she know, she knew she wanted Jack to go instead of anybody that
one
she
of
was
her prostitutes,
right,
basically.
to
she was
be
like, Amanda
stand-in.
won't like any of my prostitutes.
Right. He won't,
because
they
they're
won't
not
be
smart enough.
enough. Exactly.
Yes.
And so he doesn't know that at the time.
Right.
He goes there thinking he's going to buy this, buy the publishing rights. So
he was trying to convince her to let him. He bought
publish.
the,
That's right.
the book.
Publish for $10. Yeah.
Yes, for a whopping £10 or whatever.
Yeah. And he was like, trying to convince her to work with him.
To let him republish it, or actually just publish it, period, because it had never been published, even though someone bought the rights to it.
He's like, he catches on pretty quickly what's going on, that she thinks that he's a prostitute. So he lets her think that because he wants to go to the Bone Zone with her. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Fine.
It's fine. And which they then have a very explicit sexual encounter. But he does not. I mean, they don't have sex. He says, "I'm going to leave you a virgin today."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But there is a scene later on, and I'm just going to read it just because I was like, I have never been into this before, but I kind of am this part. So he closed his hands around her ankles, pulling her towards him. "I have fantasies that involve every part of you. Your hair, your mouth, your breasts, even your feet." "My feet?" She jolted in reaction as she felt his thumbs stroke over her arches, soothing away the little knots of tension. He placed her foot on the front of his trousers, right where a thick, heavy ridge strained against the blend of wool and broadcloth. The heat of his body saturated the fabric and seemed to scorch the sole of her foot, and her toes curled in automatic response. I've never been in a foot play before. I fucking hate feet. But
me too.
But I'd be warming those tootsies on his chestnuts any day. Any day. What?
Something tells me they're not a little bigger than chestnuts, though.
Oh, I'm sure. What? Yeah.
Girl, Jack Devlin.
Oh, I mean, wait, hold on. Let's see. Wait. I have fantasies that involve every part of your body. I was gonna do an Irish accent. I can't do it. Because I can't make all of Ireland hate us. Yeah.
We need to get listeners from there first.
Wait, I
don't
don't
think
know
we
if
have
we
any
do
in
or not.
Ireland yet.
Because
I
we
don't think
can't
we
do
do.
analytics. Okay. But I have to say, like every scene with him, like you think in any other book he would be a dick, but this book, like there was just every time it was kind of like, oh God, like it just, I think the part of him having that background of being a bastard and growing up in this rough, if he had just been like a rich asshole, I think he would be such a dick and no one would have liked him. But I think if he came, because he came from a lower class and built himself up, I think there's more of a, something there.
He's an incredibly kind person.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
and when he wants to be. Well, I mean, he doesn't necessarily have to be all the time. But
no, but there's that big fight with him and Tweehard or whatever it's called.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like pretty much like, I'm not going to fight you, dude. Like, I'm not going to. And although Amanda beats the crap out of him, but I mean, and even Hartley.
Mm-hmm. I
mean, he's a forgiving person because he knows.
Yeah. He is incredibly caring.
Yeah. And
it's constantly telling her, like every single time she starts to get on her about, every single time she starts to get on herself about her looks or her figure, he's always like, you're beautiful. I don't know what else I need to tell you to make you believe that you're beautiful. Yeah. And she's like, I don't understand why you think that. And at one point he makes a comment like, everyone has different things. Everyone's attracted to different things. You check all of my boxes. Every single one of my boxes.
Right. I mean, how many times have any of us wanted just to hear that?
Right.
You check all of my boxes.
All of my boxes.
So, yeah. Jack Devlin's penis is...
Don't blame me one bit.
Yep. Do you have any other pros, or do you want to move to cons?
We can... Let me look. I think I had one other quote. I did want to read, like, the quote about...
No, you go for it.
I won't give away how she finally loses her virginity.
Yeah, because there's a lot of this book. There's like 60 to the end we're not going to spoil, because there's a lot that happens.
There's actually kind of a lot of spoilers.
Yeah.
There's like a lot that we could ruin for you that we don't want to. But after she does lose her virginity, she says, her inner monologue at any rate, says, for she did love him. The realization had come over him, not with the immediacy of a summer thunderstorm, but with the slow persistence of April rain. She thought it unlikely that any woman could keep from falling in love with Jack Devlin, as handsome and wily and damaged as he was. I know. It's like the wistful sighs from us.
I mean, just... Oh, here's the other thing that okay, so the other one, so we've always talked about, and this is like, you and I have preached on this podcast a number of times. Guess what? Here's a myth for you. Women do not, for the most part, a large majority of us do not reach orgasm.
Right.
Via just intercourse.
Correct.
Unless
if you're a man, if you're one of the 3 men that listen to this podcast, and you don't know that.
Yeah, and you're not gay.
You're right. Yeah, the one of you we know for sure is gay.
It don't happen like that. I'm sorry. So there is a line that
it's rare. It's not that it doesn't happen.
Right,
it's just that most women don't get there.
So there is a line that Jack says, and Amanda says, why should that have mattered? I've never heard that the sexual act requires any particular intelligence. From what I've observed, many stupid people are easily able to produce children.
Yes, I had that highlighted too.
And he says, true, but the question betrays your lack of experience, Peaches, which he calls her Peaches.
He calls her Peaches.
The fact is, sexual satisfaction is often more difficult for women to achieve than for men. It requires a certain amount of skill, care, and yes, even intelligence. He fucking knows you gotta fucking walk the walk with those fingers to make it happen. Which again we see in the second chapter of this book. So.
Legitimately, in the second chapter.
I mean, it was one of those ones where you're like pulling your collar like Rodney Dangerfield, like, holy shit, this is hot. Like,
I was like, yeah, I mean, I texted you and I was like, this got steamy quick.
Yeah.
Like, really quick.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Which, again, totally fine.
Oh. Yeah. As you and I have said, we've been reading some porn pretty much, so.
Yeah, I mean, you and I have read some just basically erotica.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
But there is something, we've talked about this before too. I think when we talked about the Duke and I that, or Bridgerton, there's something about that era that because you're not allowed to touch each other, that like first contact, or like the first time that you're able to touch each other is so like charged.
Yeah. You're so sensory deprivated. Like you can't, you don't have that tactile sense. I mean, that's one of the sexiest parts of Bridgerton is where he tells her how to masturbate.
Yes, seriously.
I mean, he goes home and he goes like, go home and touch yourself. And it was like, holy fuck. I mean, because you don't think about it, but it was like, that was an evil to them. Like, to touch yourself like that was so evil.
It's still an evil in some religions. So, like...
there's parts of the South that feel... Which, if there was more touching yourselves, there wouldn't be... Okay. I love you, the South.
All embrace sexuality, please.
Disclaimer. Again, we are a very pro-sex, healthy podcast.
Sex positivity podcast. Yep. Welcome.
If you masturbate, fine.
Good for you.
Good for you.
Do it. Why not?
Do it. I mean, soon we're gonna start giving reviews of sex toys.
Oh my God! This moms group that I'm a part of on Facebook recently, someone was like, "I don't know if we're allowed to talk about this here, but like, can we talk about sex toys?" And like, it became this entire
gosh,
many comments of women leaving their favorite like
you gonna
sex
send
toys.
This to me later?
Yeah, I'll go find it. It was so good. I mean, I literally have to comment, and I was like, I'm just grateful that people are talking about this. Like, I think it's really great.
There's nothing wrong with it.
No, and like, fuck, I was so glad to see all of these women. It's like very diverse in age, especially. I can't really tell about race, but like, I can tell that people are diverse in age. At least it's mostly moms. It's actually not all moms, but like people in their 20s to their 50s,
right?
You know, like with kids of all ages. And this woman was like, I don't know if we're allowed to talk about this, but like, can I ask about sex toys? And I was just like, I'm so glad this is happening.
Yeah.
I'm so glad this is happening.
Well, we have a friend who listens to the podcast who joked with us that at some point we're just going to start reviewing sex toys and be like, yeah, don't recommend, or yeah, do recommend. And be like, it rubbed a hole in my vagina.
I'll just
don't
make
recommend.
sure that my mom does not listen to those. Mom, skip from minutes X to X. Like
that'll be the ones my mom accidentally does listen to.
Oh,
but again, she's got to figure out how to use the podcast app or her phone. So I'm not too worried. Do you
not too worried? I wish everyone could have seen your face when you said that. It was hysterical. Your eyes got so wide.
Somebody told me the other day, they're like, oh, I wish... like, the one lady I work with was like, I have beady eyes. She's like, I wish my eyes were big and expressive like yours. I was like, no, you don't. No, you don't. I said, because when something pisses me off, you know, about 2 seconds, because my eyes just get like, the fuck?
Oh my God, I cannot control, as you know, because you know me for a long time, my husband likes to tell me that I cannot control the volume of my face. Which was in my wedding vows. I promised him that I would not control the volume of my face because he likes that my face is expressive.
Yeah.
To the point where at one point my old dermatologist, not my current dermatologist, because of the story I'm about to tell.
Oh, I remember this story. Yes.
She was older, like maybe in her early 60s.
She's Eastern European too, wasn't she? Or something?
And Russian.
Yeah, that's it. There you go.
Or perhaps I just assumed Russian. I guess right off the top of my head, I can't remember her name, but like it sounded Russian to me. She was like, we just get couple injections here, clear those lines right up. And I said to my husband, like, I asked him, I was like, I don't know, I'm kind of like interested. Not that, listen, I'm going to be really clear. If I want Botox, I'm getting Botox. Okay, it's not like. He wasn't telling me no.
You do what
but he was like, but I like your face? Like, that's basically what he said to me. And I was like, I don't know. You know, like I have really lines on my forehead that made me self-conscious. And so the next time I saw her, like 6 months later or whatever, she goes into the same thing. You know, as she is pulling up the skin on my forehead, she goes... You know, we do injection here. We clean those lines right up. And I
so it look like you don't make you can't make face at all.
You don't make the face, and
you look scared all the time.
All the time, and my neutral expression.
You know, Nicole Kidman. You got face like her.
Face like Nicole Kidman, and there was a nurse or like a assistant behind her, standing behind her that I could see. And so she's holding up my forehead skin to smooth it out and telling me this. And I literally said, my husband says that I'm beautiful just the way I am. And the nurse said, "Aw." And there was like a beat of silence. And then the doctor goes, "He says that now."
Oh, Jesus! I forgot about this.
She's not my dermatologist anymore. Like,
she's a cold, frigid bitch. That's what she is.
She's probably retired by now. This was like a few years ago.
I'm going to hope that she's alone. I've never wanted someone to be alone before, but that's awful. I don't know.
I truly don't remember. I don't even remember her name, like, off the top of my head. I think it started with V.
Frostbox. That's what her name is. Dr. Frostbox. Dr. Chili Cunt.
The nurse, I could see, like, her eyes just were like, "Oh my God, what did you just say to this woman?"
God.
Because in my head, with, like, my trauma, I was like, but she's not wrong.
No, because I'm telling you right now, I love Russian people. I've had to deal with Russian ballet instructors working for a ballet school, and I've had them just be like, "She too fat. You tell her to go." I'm like, I can't do that.
They're very direct.
They are very blunt, and it's like,
yes,
okay, I get it, but I'm like, we can't. Here in America, we can't just tell someone you're too fat, please leave. Like,
I don't know if you've been on TikTok.
True story. But
I mean, we can. It's mean. Like, we acknowledge that.
Well, how many times did I have kids come to me like, I can't have so and so as a teacher, as a Russian teacher, because she's mean. Because she'd be like, "You're not doing it right." I'm like, okay, let's just calm down, everybody. This is a 7-year-old, and they're playing the piano.
Right, like they're learning how to play the piano. So like, let's just maybe
calm it down a little bit. Calm your tits, okay?
Calm your tits, please.
Yeah.
So anyway, she's not my dermatologist anymore.
Yeah. So we just took a detour, and I loved it.
We did, but the point is, like, Jack Devlin tells her all the time that she is beautiful just the way she is.
Just kind of like Bridget Jones's Diary.
Yes.
I like you just the way you are.
Someone at work a man at work brought up, funnily enough, after our last book, The Perfection of Hugh Grant.
My face changed. Did you see it change?
It did. But I sent a Hugh Grant gif.
I mean, does he know about Hugh Grant, like, cheating on his wife and all kinds of horrible things?
No, we're just talking about him as an actor, not him as a person. Just him as an actor. Okay. And he was like, he made a comment about, like, Hugh Grant being, like, basically perfection as an actor, and also made a Bridget Jones reference.
But
and
he's
I was
not the
like,
best. That's Colin Firth.
Opinions.
Colin Firth is the best part of Bridget Jones.
Oh, he is.
Because he's Mr. Darcy. Because Daniel Kleypas is the one who's a big douchebag. I'm sorry that we took that road. I'm sorry.
My face is just like...
Oh, I know we need to watch Bridget Jones now, don't we?
It's wistful. Like, I just...
Did your mother buy that jumper for you? Oh, I see another mother's jumper, another Christmas jumper present. Oh, yeah, I love that movie so much. Oh. Okay, so let's do a con.
I'm sorry, we should talk about cons. We should talk about
cons.
The meat or the fish, because Lent.
Cheese or tuna. It works.
There you go. Whatever. Is tuna's
a fish?
Is that meat? Okay, no, it's fish.
No, it's fine. It's fish.
Whatever. I guess they do fish fries, so like, there's that.
Shrimp.
God, that sounds good. Okay, so anyway, why am I so fucking hungry?
I don't know.
All right, so I have like one nitpicky con.
No, go for
this
it.
book was excellent. Like, excellent. I had to actually dig deep to look for a con. Something I'm not going to bring up because it'll be a major spoiler. There is a trope in romance novels that annoys the shit out of me that happens in this book. I'm not going to bring it up because it would spoil a lot. But the one nitpicky con that I will bring up, as much as I love Jack Devlin, he was a little pushy for me at times.
I get it.
It felt at odds for me with how sweet he is.
Yeah, because he's like, you're going to be with me. This is going to happen.
Yeah, like he's kind of, there are times, and especially in the bedroom, when he's a little pushy.
When they break up, He says, I'll wait for you with gritted teeth. I'll be waiting for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, now that being said, he does respect like her wishes because she breaks up with him and he stays away from her.
Yep.
And he's miserable as shit. But he stays away from her because that's what she wanted. Mm-hmm. So like even when she shows up at his office, because they're also business partners at that, well, not partners, but like he's her publisher. And so they have business dealings together.
But I can see what you're saying though. Like,
yeah. So like even when she shows up at his office, it's like, here's the rest of my manuscript. Like here's the third installment or whatever. Yeah. Like he's like, okay, I guess if there's nothing else you want to talk to me about.
But even before that, he's like, how many times did he say, I'm having, the whole time I've been worrying, I've been trying to like keep my hands off of you.
Yep.
I can see that. I can see it.
To me, like, and even once they started doing things, like he was pushy to me.
Yeah. I mean, you can definitely say that he wants her.
Yeah. Very obvious.
And you don't know at first if he wants her for forever or if he wants her for right now. Mm-hmm. So no, I can totally get it. And I think that's what she's struggling with too. Is am I just going to be another Jack Devlin
conquest?
Yeah, conquest.
Yeah, just another notch in your bedpost.
Yeah, I totally get it.
But that's all I've got, man. Other than that,
I have. Now I think about it. The kids touching the raisins and putting them in their mouths.
Oh yeah, especially in a COVID time, like reading that book during COVID times. I was like, oh God.
So there's a Christmas like tradition where they all have like, it was like
he hosts like a big Christmas party,
right? And there's like a punch bowl full of whatever and raisins, and they're like digging them out with their hands and shoving them, and he puts one in her mouth, which is, of course is sexy, but then you're like, yeah, but everyone else has been touching
all those
it.
Children's fingers,
children's
and like
fingers.
at a time when hygiene is not top notch, and like all these kids are sticking their fingers into the punch because the punch is hot. So like the game is to try and like get the raisins without burning the shit out of your fingers.
So we were joking before the show because we were talking about time travelers back to this time period, and we're like, oh, isn't this great? And I automatically go to the one we were talking about earlier. Was it Outlander, which I've never read. Not seen. I have no desire to see. I have none. But I'm thinking, because again, the dollop, which I've mentioned before, they talk about like none of us would last 3 minutes if we went time traveled back that time.
No, I definitely would not enjoy living at that time.
The smells alone would make us all vomit, and especially Outlander, when you think about it, like these people don't bathe and they don't brush their teeth. The smells. And so now you're talking about a whole bunch of people who haven't brushed their teeth nor taken a bath, sticking their hands in a hot thing of punch and raisins and then sticking them in each other's mouths.
Yeah, no.
No, thank you.
No, that's just a COVID bowl.
I think I would have been like that before COVID, though.
I also think that, but now it's like accentuated.
I think you're like, oh, fuck no. Nope.
The amount of like, I don't know about kids, but like definitely adults that I think are going to be more OCD after this are...
Me.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, I haven't gotten sick, knock on wood.
Yeah. That is like an awesome thing about this experience is that like this is probably the healthiest my family has ever fucking been.
There's something to be said for China wearing friggin' masks all the time.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I will honestly consider wearing masks like going out if I like go to the store and I'm have a cold, I might fucking wear a mask.
Yeah.
They're not wrong.
Yeah. Do you have another pro for me?
I do.
Go for it.
So we've already talked about Jack Devlin a bit, but the thing that I love the most about Jack Devlin is how supportive he is of her career. Mm-hmm. Like he at no point is he trying to stifle her or change her mind about like what she should be writing about. In fact, he's trying to publish. She has an unpublished work. It was the first thing she ever wrote. She sold it for £10 to a publisher who decided that it wasn't worth publishing. Mm-hmm. So it kind of just died there. Well, then Jack acquires this novel. And he's like, I want to sell it as 3 pieces in a magazine.
A serial,
as a serial.
Like Charles Dickens. They brought up Dickens, what I was super excited about. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, because Dickens wrote in a serial format.
The Penwick papers, yeah.
Yes. So he's like, that's what I want to do with you. I want to do that with this novel called An Unfinished Lady.
Yeah.
And she's resistant to it. She doesn't want to do that. She's like, that's beneath where I am in my career at this point. I don't want to do a serial. And he's like, please just trust me on this. I really do think your cat is just climbing right in front of your face. God, I love you. But he's like, I just want you to trust me. I really think we could do well. And he gives her numbers, and he's like, this is how much I think we could do. And then at the end, we're going to publish it as a novel.
Right. They're going to bind it into 3. Yeah, they're going to bind it into 3. Yeah.
Yes, and he is not wrong. It does extremely well. And they sell more papers or magazines than they ever thought that they could. They do publish the novel eventually. But every single step of the way through this book, he is extremely supportive of her career, which is very odd for that time.
Even when they break up.
Mm-hmm. Even when they break up. He's still making sure that he's doing everything within his power to ensure her success.
Now, part of that is because he's making money off of it, too.
Oh, of course. I mean, let's not say that that's entirely selfless, but, he cares about her.
He does.
And he wants her to have what she wants. I mean, part of why he's not super keen on marriage either is because he wants his own independence. He doesn't want to, be dealing with a wife and, he also doesn't, because of his background and his upbringing. I think that he mentions at one point that none of the boys who made it out of that school are good at having relationships with people. Not just romantic relationships, but relationships in general. They're not good at it.
Here's a quote that will back that up. But a woman isn't complete without a man, Jack said provocatively, and laughed at her expression as her expression became thunderous. He held up his hands in self-defense. Calm yourself, Miss Briars. I was only teasing. I have no wish to be bashed and battered as Lord Tyrwhitt was. Actually,
that was hysterical.
I agree with your views. I'm no great proponent of the marital union. In fact, I intend to avoid it at all costs.
Yep. So they're both in this spot where neither of them wants to get married.
No. But I think Jack's more. I think as much as Jack postures that he's not wanting to have a union or to be in a relationship, I think that he realizes that he's willing to give it up. He's willing to give up that view for Amanda.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any quotes for that?
I'm just taking a picture for posterity here. I kind of read what I was already looking for. I'm hesitant to read too much because I don't want to give things away. But there really is a lot. The last third of the book just is action packed. But I will say, toward the end, not at the very end, but toward the end, specifically talking about her career, there's an opportunity presents itself that he thinks she should take. Mm-hmm. And she's warning him, if I do this, this is what I'm going to do, and that's going to be abnormal, and it's going to be strange for,
Is this where they suggest that Oscar?
Yes.
Okay.
And she's saying, I don't know if you really want me to do this. FYI, this is what it would be like if I did it. This is what I'd want to do. And he says, good. Set the world afire. Just let me hand you the matches.
That's the big line from this book.
Such a good line. Set the world afire.
Let me hand
Just let me hand you the matches.
if you're not in love with Jack Devlin by the time you're done with this book, you're an unfeeling person. I mean, like, I don't know what to say to you. Like, I don't know what to say. Like,
it's such a good line. Like, it's truly
such a good line. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, because we were talking about, like, so reading Amanda Quick's and things like that beforehand. This is the first novel I've read in this time period with a writer who could use her own name, for one. Two, could write what she wanted. Because, like, so even Amanda Quick's, either they use a man's name or they use a fake name. And it's usually some, like, Mrs., Hogglethorpe or whatever. And so... I'm just making that up, obviously. But, I mean, they're using, like, a fake name to be able to write as a woman. But most of the time, they're writing as a man. Mm-hmm. In fact, the one, right. I think the last Harlequin that I suggested, she was writing. She took, she used her, prospective love interest's name to write her thesis. And
there are women now who use nebulous names.
Yeah.
Or initials, like J.K. Rowling.
Right. You wouldn't know
for all of the controversy
she's
been. Yeah, like you don't know whether that person's a man or a woman.
Yeah.
Well, T.L. Swan is like a prolific romance writer. Well,
even then, so J.K. and then when she writes as her mystery novel, it's a man's name. Yeah.
Robert Galbraith.
Yeah. So for that to me was like, wow. Lisa Kleypas was like, I'm not only going to just have this woman be a writer and be popular, but use her own fucking name is huge. It's huge.
Yes, it is huge. And the fact that she was actually successful is huge.
Yeah. I mean,
the other thing he says to her at one point is he says something in Gaelic to her. She doesn't know what it means.
That was my other pro, was going to be all the Gaelic. Oh,
yeah,
yes.
There's a lot of Gaelic.
Fucking yes.
But he says... the very pulse of my heart.
Oh, I thought we were going to say Mjörin, but
No, I wasn't going to attempt to pronounce that. Are you fucking kidding me? You did it. You got it. Good job.
Oh, God. I'm not even going to try that. Mitchell
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I'll get it wrong.
Oh.
If you can speak Gaelic, please send us like an email or something, or tag us in a TikTok of you saying that.
But the other one, I've heard someone use that word.
It's an endearment. Yeah.
But yeah. Because as he says it, and he says, "Don't be afraid, Murin. I won't hurt you." And then, "Achosel morai, chorai," he murmured, stroking the curls back from her round face. Yeah, that was going to be my other pro, is his Gaelic. Oh, God.
Is that the bottom bun for you?
Yeah, it's the bottom bun for me. I mean, because it's not a ton, but because he's also half Irish. He's not like, that's why I wasn't going to.
But his mother raised him, and his mother was Irish, so.
Right. I mean, and I wasn't going to do
and
all
there's
of
some,
the quotes
like,
in Irish, but.
Prejudice and racism against, like, I don't know if it's really racist, but there's some prejudice against Irish people.
Well, right.
Like, it's discussed.
Which it's interesting because it's interesting because there's more prejudice against Irish here than there was in England.
Really? I mean, I don't know. I didn't. Yeah, there was a lot of prejudice here against Irish people. That's true.
Yeah, I mean, in immigrants in general, but Irish in particular, because like you would see signs that said no Irish need not apply, that sort of stuff.
Right.
Here, because you couldn't. Apply for jobs and stuff. You'd have menial jobs and things like that. So the fact that he's making a life for himself in London and being such a huge magnet is something to be said, because he wouldn't be able to do it here.
Right.
Also,
right. So hot.
All right. Speaking of hot, can we talk about some stunt casting?
Yes, please.
All right.
You're going to laugh at my
I'm not.
choice. Yes, you are.
No, because you're going to laugh at mine.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
That's fine.
Happy to laugh at yours.
All right. So do you want to go first?
Or you go first.
Okay,
you
I'll
go first.
So, hold on, wait a minute. So, okay. So I only have two. So
you guys are so sad you can't see us dancing.
So my Jack Devlin is Matt Bomer.
Oh my God.
And I'd like you to go into Pinterest and look at the Matt Bomer picture I picked. Because if it doesn't make your panties wet, I don't know what will.
All you gotta do is say his name. Okay? It's not even like, God, he's so hot. So hot.
He is. I mean...
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Should I just send you the picture?
No, I see it. God damn it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really loved the show he was on called White Collar.
Yeah. It was good. And then he was on the other horrible show that I didn't really care about.
American Horror Story?
No. Hollywood?
I didn't actually see that.
I want to say right now, a lot of my friends love Ryan Murphy. I'm not a big fan of Ryan Murphy. I think he's kind of...
Is he the one that did Glee?
Yes. And he puts the same people in every show.
That show had a lot of fucking problems.
Oh, it's really funny. There was a TikTok with the one kid who played Artie, the kid in the wheelchair, and him and the Asian girl.
And the Asian character,
and they were like, yeah, we're the last ones who really hated that show. Like, we were the last on the boat. But, yeah, like... And someone was like, yeah, I just watched a video. Yeah. They're like, well, I just watched a video of Mr. Shu being creepy for 30 seconds.
Yes, exactly.
I mean,
he was really creepy.
The whole show was problematic. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, I just don't care for Ryan Murphy. That's my own opinion.
It's really, like, 3 people from that show have already died.
Yeah.
Corey Monteith, the guy who played Puck, I forget his name.
Hung himself.
And then Santana. That was
that was an accident.
That was an accident.
The other two were one was a suicide. Because he was going to be arraigned for child pornography.
That was Puck, right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
But Ryan Murphy picks the same people, and it's very much so the Hollywood show that was on Netflix, everyone was like, I couldn't even make it through it. I'm like, yeah, I have no desire. I'm fine. But so that's what I think of Bomer from.
Oh my God, he's so hot.
He's pretty.
He is beautiful.
And he's supposedly very nice too. So it's like one of those, yay. But
I'm inclined to believe that because I don't know if you ever watched The Good Place.
Yeah.
That fucking show. I have not finished the series finale. I started it and had to stop because I was crying. But I remember when they posted the show, because The Good Place was not renewed for a 7th season,
right,
or whatever it was that was not renewed. And so they posted on social media about it, and Matt Bomer replied and was like, I am so sad. I watch the show with my kid every week.
Yeah.
It's so nice. I love this show. And I was just like, if you love The Good Place, you got to be a halfway decent person. You know what I mean? It's such a good show.
He's I think it solidified for my mom. My mom is very much she's Catholic, and she's very much spiritual. She's very, not religious, but she's sort of religious. But she also, she loves gay men. She loves the whole, she's fine with everything. But she saw him, and it was USA. They were doing character sort of personality things.
Oh, yeah.
And it was my name's Matt Bomer. I'm on White Collar. My religion is spiritual. I'm very spiritual. And she just loved that. Yeah. So, yeah.
Mike, which I have also not seen. If we're just making a list of all the movies I have not seen, Magic Mike is another one.
I haven't either.
But I will have to see it because Channing Tatum and Matt Bomer. Right?
I'm not a big fan of Channing Tatum, but
I don't fucking mind it.
No, that's fine. He's just not my cup of tea.
That's
same
fine.
thing as Ryan Gosling, not my cup of tea.
Right. Now, what you should watch, though, is Channing Tatum on Lip Sync Battle when he was still married to his wife.
Oh, yeah. Well,
he did let it go from Frozen.
Channing
Tatum
dressed as Elsa in Hail Caesar is amazing. He does this whole this whole dance. He's a fantastic dancer. He's fantastic.
Yeah, he is. He is.
But yeah.
Oh my God! I just saw on Pinterest. Damn it, Matt Bomer.
Bomer. Yeah.
Boner.
When I get a lady boner.
Holding puppies. So I'm just going to fucking send you that photo.
So while we're in mine, my Amanda is Elizabeth Tomlinson.
I'm not sure I know who that is.
She's a British woman. She's gorgeous.
Oh, so pretty.
She's very pretty. I mean, I looked up British actresses who have red hair because I had to say I think that there are more red-headed English actresses than there are here.
Yeah, it is interesting. She has she's described as having like auburn hair. What?
I'm looking at the cuddling picture, like puppy's picture.
I was like, why does her face look so shocked? What did I do? Yeah, it's interesting because she's described as having like auburn hair, but it doesn't say that she's like Irish or anything, like she's
but just says she has auburn hair. And yeah, this girl, like there were some pictures that she's like not heavier, but like it looks like she was more.
She's very pretty.
She's very pretty. So that's who I picked.
I picking up what you're putting down. Yeah,
right.
The cuddling puppies. There's a photo of Matt Bomber cuddling puppies.
Oh my god,
my ovaries are exploding.
Yep. All right, I'm going into yours.
Do it.
Ah! Okay, tell me.
Okay, so
I almost picked this. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So my Jack Devlin. Now listen, we're not gonna. I don't want to give away a spoiler, so I'm not going to talk about like a specific aspect of this. However, I will say Patrick Dempsey, who I love anyway because I started watching Grey's Anatomy at the very, very beginning. And while I will never forgive Shonda Rhimes, like I will hold this grudge against her until the day I die. Like on my deathbed, I might write her a letter. She'll probably already be dead because I think she's older than me. But on my deathbed, I will fucking complain about how they killed McDreamy. So like Patrick Dempsey to me is just stupid hot. Like
he's pretty.
Stupid hot. So pretty. He was in a movie with the guy who plays Owen on Grey's Anatomy. It takes place in Scotland, I believe. And he is like
Was that Maid of Honor?
I think so. I think that's what it's called. But regardless, like he's got like the hair that's like floppy. Like she talks about like his hair being like hanging over his forehead and like the blue eyes, like the striking blue eyes. And I was just like, when I was reading it, I was just like, fucking Patrick Dempsey, man. Fucking McDreamy. That's what I was thinking about. I also thought about Theo James a little bit.
Yeah. Do you know he was in Sanderson? I'm almost positive that was who that. Wait, hold on. You keep talking. I'm going to look up.
Because he was in Divergent, wasn't he? He was the Divergent dude. He was 4.
I am all. What the?
So attractive.
So internet. That's fine.
I actually don't know what color his eyes are, but I don't really care.
Yes, he was the lead in Sanderson. Holy God. So pretty. So Sanderson.
Yes, very pretty.
I will bring up again Sanderson. If you have not watched it, I recommend. The more of us, the United States watchers, listeners who watch Sanderson, they might do a second season.
Okay.
Because
is it on Netflix?
It's on PBS All Access. If you have PBS Access. It might be on Netflix. I don't know. You have to look.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll look.
It's the last Jane Austen book that was left unpublished.
Oh, yes. Yes, you brought that before. Got it.
And it was ended on a cliffhanger. And he's so good in it. And he's so pretty. So, yeah, I can see
attractive.
That. He is attractive.
Yeah. And my Amanda, I pictured Christina Hendricks.
I was going to go for her, but I was like, I think I've used her before, so...
I don't know. We've talked about her. I know we have, but like, when I was reading it, I was like, this is who I'm picturing. The other person I pictured was Jessica Chastain, but like, she's not as curvy.
You know what? Bryce Dallas Howard, now I think about it, because she's the one who's the more curvy of them, all of them.
Bryce Dallas Howard? Who is that?
Yeah, that's Ron Howard's daughter, who was in Jurassic World.
Oh, yes!
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that too.
She was in that Rocket Man movie, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I could see that too.
Because she is curvy, and she's like living it. She's
beautiful.
like, I don't fucking care. I'm a fucking director. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
She directed some
beautiful.
amazing episodes of The Mandalorian.
Really? Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. She is really pretty.
She is. She's gorgeous.
Actually, she would be pretty perfect for that.
Yep.
Because she is beautiful, but is also like not, she's got like a medium build. She's not like your stereotypical teeny tiny like starlet.
She's,
you know?
she's got some meat on her bones.
She's gorgeous.
Oh, she's beautiful. She's a normal looking woman.
Yeah, she's a normal human.
She's a normal human.
Shocking, I know, for all of us. What is next? Do you want to talk about eggplants and
Yeah,
hearts?
let's do some ratings. Let's do some ratings. All right, so what about you? Do you want to go first?
Sure. This book is like one of the hottest Regency era romances I've maybe ever read. So I gave it 4 eggplants because like
holler
holy
for
shit,
Jesus. I mean
you
there's
got
a point
fingering
where
in chapter 2.
So there's a point where Veronica texted me and she's like, I think he stuck his finger in her butthole. I'm like, no. And I write back, I'm like, he fucking did.
She was like, wait, what page? Send me a page number. And I was like on it. I mean, I was actively reading it at that time. And I sent it to her and she was like, oh my God, you're right. I think she did.
Because I read it something completely different. And then I read back, I'm like, oh my God, that is her butthole.
And this is what I'm talking about like Jack being a little pushy.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I'd let him push me. I let him push that butthole. What?
I almost spit my wine out all over everything. Laptop, Kindle, notebook, everything.
Worth it.
Oh my God.
Stick that finger around that butthole.
It's really also apparently like Ray and I just text each other randomly and say, I'd throw a leg over it.
Or I let him do me twice on Sunday. So we've discovered.
Sorry, Mom.
We've discovered our love affair with Harry Styles, and
I'm not even sorry anymore.
No, I'm not. I'm not
sorry anymore.
There's so many. There's women older than me who are like, yeah, fuck yeah, I throw a leg over it. I'm like, okay, so I don't feel bad about it. I would let him do me every way till Sunday and then twice on Monday. It doesn't fucking matter.
I'm gonna throw it out there that like the age difference between you and him. I have known men. I am related to men.
Yeah.
Who have gone for women at that age difference.
Yeah.
Don't fucking feel bad about it.
I mean, I'm going to tell you, like, we're all going to say, if Harry Styles is going to come up to any of us and be like, I'd like to have sex with you, we'd be like, 1, am I single? Yes. 2, am I willing? Yes. 3, do I care about my age difference? No.
I mean, honestly, I
mean, you have a bigger conundrum than I do. I'm single, guys.
I don't. Maybe my husband does.
Is he a hall pass?
I would consider beginning the conversation with my husband about hall passes for Harry Styles.
You're like, you could have Kate Beckinsale if I could have.
I would be like, look, I no fucking blame you. I would consider asking.
I mean, Kate Beckinsale, I'd maybe possibly have Kate Beckinsale. I would maybe have sex with her too. I mean, it's fine.
Absolutely. I mean,
gender is fluid.
Gender is fluid, and so is sexuality.
Oh,
like, if TikTok has taught me anything,
you know what? If you're on enough pirates pages, that's bisexual pirates, you start to question your sexuality. It's fine.
There's many times TikTok and you have not yet begun to question your sexuality. Are you really on TikTok?
Oh, how many times, Veronica, do I send you TikToks? I'm like, this is the first time tonight that I have questioned my sexuality. There you go.
That Gemma woman who lives in England,
Let's just take a moment to think about it.
To just reflect and appreciate Gemma from England.
There's also the woman who, I have to find her right now. She's got green eyes. She has that beautiful, what is that called? That thing that they put over, you can put, is it a ring? A ring?
Oh, a ring light?
Yeah, the ring light.
They
her
all
eyes,
have ring lights.
Oh my gosh, she's so gorgeous. And she makes fun of men all the time. And then she's always at the end, she's like, when she leaves the TikTok. And I'm like, I would make out with you. It's fine.
At least once a week, you and I text each other a link to a TikTok of a woman. Yeah. And we're like, I would make out with her.
Yeah.
Definitely would. Yep. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 would make out.
10 out of 10 would do it.
Yeah. It's fine. Again, gender,
it is
sexuality
totally
is fluid.
Fine. This is a sex positive podcast.
It is. And you know what? Honestly, it's really funny though. Like, I have not read a female romance novel though.
Really?
No, I haven't.
Actually, I don't think I have either. We should look one up.
Yeah, we should. Because I've read a lot of male males. I love them. So
there are a lot of male males.
And I think that might be the thing is like, so I did find a TikTok where some woman was getting like harassed online because she was saying that she loved male porn. And she's like, people were like, well, you know, whatever. I'm like, and her thought was like, it's more sex positive than regular porn.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. Actually, can I take a moment to plug a website?
Yeah.
So I can't really say how I know this. What I will say is that if you are a person listening to this podcast who is interested in porn-ish things, but get frustrated with porn, please check out makelovenotporn.com. It is run by a brilliant woman named Cindy Gallop, who is British and lives in Manhattan. She is an advertising titan. This woman is incredible. I have had the pleasure of speaking with her, like via Zoom, because we don't live anywhere near each other. But if you makelovenotporn.com is a pro sexuality, pro porn website. However, it is real people making sex videos.
Right.
So it's real couples or
who are over 18 years old. There's the other issue.
Over the age of 18 years old, of all ages. I mean, there are people from age 18 to like 70 on this website of many disability levels,
right,
making videos of themselves having sex with their partners
or loving.
Yes. Or by themselves, which is also fine.
Right.
So if that's something that you're interested, I'm just going to throw that out there. Also, the other really great thing about this website is that the creators make half of the revenue.
Yeah.
So like you can rent videos or you can have like a subscription where you get like whatever X amount of videos per whatever amount of time. But you can also rent like a la carte. So you can rent per video on a per video format. Mm-hmm. And each one of those rentals is $5. So like from the $5, $2.50 of that goes to the creators. Well, so those people are being compensated for their work and hopefully enjoyment, which is very much more than we can say about porn.
Well, I have to say, like, I will say one thing for Pornhub is that they have become, they were the first group to put the, because there has been obviously like, they've put the smackdown on and, anybody under 18. That's why you see, if you're on there, you see the FBI notice that comes up about like anybody who's in this will be over 18 years old, because there are children.
I fucking hope so. Child pornography laws.
Right.
Be behind the times, FBI.
Well, the worst part actually is YouTube. YouTube is the one that is spreading the most of but Pornhub has its own thing and it has its own issues. They're trying to clean it up, and I give them props to that. Pornhub also, where you're speaking of, that you can also do tips. Besides also subscribing to certain pages, you can also do tips. So if you like a video, you can tip somebody. It's not a lot of money, but it's at least some money that that person is getting as opposed to nothing. So
yeah. So just your pro-sex, pro-positivity, pro-sexuality portion of this podcast.
So how many hearts do you give this book?
Oh my God. Let's get back on track. So 3.5. I said 3.5 because it is romantic in that Jack is super romantic, but there's not a lot of like, I don't want to give anything away, but like he's not like actively courting her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm going to agree because it's like, we can't give too much away, but like, I think if we could give more away, it might be higher, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to. There are so many wonderful, beautiful things that happen in the last third of the book that if you want to read the book, I don't want to give anything away because it's totally worth reading it. Yeah. So would you recommend this book?
I absolutely would. This is one of my favorite Regency era romances I think I've ever read.
Yeah. And same here.
Yeah. So good.
So we're going to take a break and come back with recommendations.
Yep.
And we're back. Right?
Oh my God. I'm the worst. Okay.
All right. So who wants to go first? Do you want me to go first? Or do you want to go first?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So I have two. One is a book and one is a app recommendation. First, I'm going to do, why don't we do this? I'll do the book and then I'll let you do, and then I'll come back and do mine. Do you have one or two?
I have two, actually.
Okay, so let's do one. We'll do go
but
back
they'll be
and forth.
quick.
We'll go back and forth.
All right, cool.
Okay, so the first, so the book that I'm going to recommend, and people are going to be like, that's not a romance novel, and I'm going to be like, that's a lie, is I'm going to recommend, I'm sorry, we just make you spit. I'm going to recommend.
I was literally just trying to drink some wine while you were doing almost spit it everywhere. It's the second time during this episode, Ray. Second time.
Okay, so during the shutdown, literally shut down, like I couldn't go anywhere, I watched a bunch of stuff that I would never normally watch. The first was Good Omens.
Oh yeah.
By
you and I have had a lot of discussions about this.
By Neil Gaiman. And
who is going to be upset about Neil Gaiman?
No one should be.
I hope everyone can hear that I'm pouring more wine.
I mean, I am, and I'm excited about it. Because I'm drinking a beer now.
Good for you.
Yeah. No one should be upset about Neil Gaiman because Neil Gaiman has some of the most fantastic books on the planet.
He writes really good heroines.
He does. Neverwhere is one of my favorite books. And Stardust. Oh my God, Stardust. If you've not seen the movie Stardust, if you've not read the book Stardust, I don't know what to tell you. You need to fucking get on board. Stardust is amazing. And I never liked Claire Danes before, but Claire Danes and Stardust is... I'm thinking about it and starting to get teary-eyed because she's amazing at it.
He has some quotes from Coraline that made me while our cats were really sick.
Yeah.
We had 2 cats for many years that my husband had before I was around. They both got sick very close to each other. And that we lost them both within 3 months when I was barely pregnant. And when the first one was sick, I kept reading quotes from Coraline about, like, there's one about a cat that I just, like, couldn't. I mean, Neil Gaiman is amazing. And one of my favorite quotes from him as a person, not in his books, is he said, and I might be paraphrasing, I'm probably not saying this exactly correctly, but he says, I like books in which women save themselves.
Yep. So I've listened to the Sandman Chronicles.
Mm-hmm.
They're amazing.
I bought them for my husband at one point. We have them all.
They're so amazing. I mean, they get rough, and if you listen to the audiobook, I'm not super excited that Kat Dennings does a voice, does
okay,
Death, but I'm okay with it. It's fine. Like, she's not a great actress. It's fine. But
she's in WandaVision.
I know she actually does a good job in WandaVision.
She does a good job in WandaVision.
But she's not a great actress. She's cute, and that's what made her popular, and that's fine. I mean, that happens with Hollywood. That's what happens. Drew Barrymore. But Neil Gaiman is amazing, and his prose is amazing, and so I've not only watched Good Omens, I've read Good Omens, I have listened to the audiobook of Good Omens, I have listened to the audio play of Good Omens. I fucking love all of it.
So what we're saying is you love Good Omens.
I love Good Omens. So the reason I'm recommending it on a romance podcast is because it is a romance. As much as everyone's like, it's not, I'm like, it is. I rewatched it with Michael Sheen and David Tennant, and I'm sorry, but
don't be sorry.
They love each other. They do. Like, Aziraphale loves, and David Tennant. I mean, he loves him. I mean, it's Crowley. Like, Aziraphale loves Crowley. I mean, that's it. It's there. You can't not. There's a point where. So, the third episode of the the nice thing is that, like, Neil Gaiman had say he actually directed the whole, like, miniseries too.
I don't actually think I knew that until you brought it up.
He did, and so the commentary, he talks about, like, the third episode is completely made up. Like, it's not in the book. So the third episode was like how Crowley and Aziraphale met each other and met each other throughout the years. So he talks about, like, they start at the wall of the Garden of Eden, and they end up when he gives them holy water in 1960. So there comes a point where you realize that Aziraphale is in love with Crowley, and that is the 1945, like, bombing of London, and and Crowley comes in to save Aziraphale, and there's a look that Michael Sheen gives that is like, he looks at Crowley and you're like, this man loves this man, and it's fantastic. So I am going to recommend it. And to hell with all of you who don't believe it's a romance. It's a romance.
Hell with all of you.
It's a romance. I mean, I'm going to say right now, the miniseries is fantastic. The book is fantastic. I mean, I would listen to. I mean, the radio drama is great with Peter Serafinowicz, and I mean, they're all great.
Lovely. You've recommended it to me on many occasions. I just haven't gotten to actually seeing it yet.
I mean, there's 6 episodes. I mean,
how long are they?
They're about an hour.
Okay.
45 minutes.
I mean,
yeah.
It's not horrible.
I mean, it's really quick. It's quick, and it's weird. It's like it's Neil Gaiman weird.
I mean, is there something wrong with that? I don't think so.
No.
No.
Yeah. So, Good Omens.
Perfect. Love it. Do you want me to go and do my first one?
Yeah. And
okay.
I'll come back. We'll go back and forth.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I have discovered a lot of really good indie authors on TikTok.
Nice.
So good. I've spoken about many of them on the podcast before. The most recent of which is a woman named Lauren Asher. Now, she has a series of 4 out. I think the 4th one is out already. Let me double check the publication date. And if it's not out, it's coming out. No, it just came out in January. So she has a series of 4 about Formula One racers. Now, so I read Throttled, which is the first one. Yeah, so much innuendo. But But I read the first one, Throttled, and that's my recommendation. So it's the Dirty Air series, book 1. Dear listeners, when I got to the end of this book, that's when I realized that it was her first book. And really? I only realized it because I read the acknowledgments. And let me fucking tell you, you will not know that this is her first book.
Nice.
It is fantastic. You and I have encountered many books during the course of this podcast that were like first-time authors.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I mean, this is another one. It was excellent. The hero was fantastic. The heroine was fantastic. The hero is a Formula One racer. He's very successful. The heroine is the sister. I don't want to, it's kind of hard to explain, but okay. So the hero, his name is Noah. He's a successful Formula One racer. The heroine, her name is Maya, and she is the sister of a different Formula One racer. Now, that her brother kind of has a beef with Noah, the hero, because of like professional reasons. So what happens is they end up on the same racing team.
Uh-oh.
And so she's going on tour with her brother.
Uh-oh.
After she graduates from college.
Okay.
Forced proximity. But he's a player. And she's like, I want nothing to fucking do with this. It's really good. It's really, really good. I very much enjoyed it. Also super hot. I'm excited about reading the next one. I'll probably read the whole series. Of course, it's like all Formula One racers. So you meet during the first book the couple in the second one, which is one of Noah's friends and one of Maya's friends. So I'm pretty excited about. I mean, honestly, I'm excited about the second one. I'm shocked that this is this woman's first novel. You would never fucking know.
Nice.
So that's my first recommendation.
Awesome. Well, my second recommendation is not so much a book as so much it is an art form. Kidding, it's not. It's not. I was gonna be like, whatever. No, it's an app.
I love you.
It's called Galatea because I fucking looked it up to have to say it because I'm like, I keep saying it. Galatea. No, it's Galatea. And so you guys all missed my first recommendation with this thing, but it's fine.
So sorry. So we ended up cutting it because the episode was so long.
Because you didn't want to be here for 4 hours. It's fine. No one wants to be here for 4 hours. So it was Millennium Wolves, which I'm still going to recommend because the other one I actually started to read was The Replacement, which was a BDSM, which is fine. I didn't realize it until I was like, oh shit. Halfway
so you were
through.
Into it.
I was into it. I was like, oh, there's coming. Okay, cool.
Okay.
But there's not, it's like, this is supposed to be like an interactive, like you're supposed to be like, there's supposed to be fun things that happen when you go to different screens and nothing's happening with this. I mean, like things are happening down below, but nothing's happening on the screen. So I'm going to just recommend, I'm going to recommend it, but I want to say like pick ones that are more, interactive. So I would suggest the Millennium Wolves because so what happens is when you are playing with Galatea and you're going through and you're reading the story. So for
it's
certain
like an
parts,
interactive app, right?
Right.
Like
exactly.
an interactive reading app.
Exactly. So like, they go through a haze, like these werewolves go through a haze where they're like, it's a sexual haze. And so with the app, what happens is the background starts to get hazy and starts to get like all kinds of different colors and it starts to vibrate. You're like, holy fuck, as you're reading it. And then when you can she talks about her heartbeat starting to beat faster. The app itself starts to beat faster, so you're like you can feel it in your hand. Like that's cool shit. Like
that's cool.
Yeah, I mean I have not had anything with The Replacement yet, so I mean cool. Anyhow, But there's tons of stories here. And what I was going to tell you, what happened since the last time we talked about, which you didn't hear, about Galatea, was Rachel Van Dyken has become like she's the one who has signed on. Oh, and V. Keelan has signed on to, yeah.
What's that?
V. Keelan, we have her on our list.
Oh.
Yeah, so stories have been added, but Rachel Van Dyken.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so some bigger stories have been added to this list. I'm looking through here as I go, like the shifter romance, western romance, thriller. Again, there's an LGBTQ plus section there, but the immersive stories is the ones that you really like. Is the ones that will actually you can have an interaction with the app. But I would completely recommend it.
Cool. I like it.
Wow. Wow.
Okay, so my other one is both a book and a podcast.
All
right. Someone that we have met via TikTok, who I really admire. My trade, my day job, is a copywriter. And as such, I ghostwrite a lot of content for businesses and also for people publishing novels and also self-help books. And I found her on TikTok. Her name is Becca Morgan. I was floored because she is a ghostwriter for romance novels. Now,
really?
She can't say who she's worked with because obviously that would violate every single NDA she's ever signed. But her bio says ghostwriter for your favorite romance novelist. So just on Tuesday, March 16th, released the first piece of work under her name, co-authored with a woman named Amelia J. Rose. So Becca Morgan and Amelia J. Rose released a novella. I mean, it's 106 pages, called Hookup State of Mind. I've not finished it. I've started it. They also have a podcast by the same name. So it's the company that they founded to release this under is literally called Consensual. Her TikTok is fantastic. If you're interested in romance novels, I highly recommend you follow her. I think she's just so intelligent, and I really appreciate her discussions about writing and ghostwriting and romance novels. I just love her as a person. So the podcast on TikTok follows her. I've private messaged her. Hopefully we can have an alliance coming soon. But we'll see. But she's great. And so I highly recommend. It's only $2.99 on Kindle. If you are able, go ahead and download that. Came out just this past Tuesday, March 16th. Please download it and read it. It's just she is super, super talented, and I really admire her on a professional level.
I mean, $2.99 for what it is. Come on,
yeah. I mean,
it's a coffee.
It is. It's a coffee. So I'll actually read you the Amazon description really quick. It says, Cleo is the heroine. I'm only on the market for a hookup. Bumping into a hot guy in an elevator? I thought that only happened in movies, but running into him 2 more times in the span of 24 hours? Now that's more than a coincidence. Dean is hotter than the subway in August, and I'll happily ride him just as much. But that's all this is, a hookup. His cold corporate world will never align with my crazy acting career. Plus, there's a teeny tiny surprise that puts the nail in his coffin. His younger brother? Yeah, I'm his nanny. So whatever the spark is between us, it's officially canceled. The hot actress has officially become off limits. Why do I just want her more? Dean says, Cleo Walker is everything I'm not. Loud, wild, funny. I never thought that this girl would consume me the way she has. But now that I know she's my little brother's nanny, I can't have her. Like she says, some Tinder hookup isn't worth losing her job over. But what if what we have isn't just a hookup? That could be something real. And I'm not letting anyone, even my own mother, stand in the way of that.
Nice.
I'm into it.
I mean, for reals.
Yeah, so that's my second recommendation. Hookup State of Mind.
Let's do it. Where can they find us?
Y'all, you can find us everywhere.
Y'all can find us on the street. You know, whatever.
Just on the street. Our website is www.chicklitbookclubpodcast.com. Our Twitter is @chicklitpodcast. TikTok, Chicklit Book Club. Pinterest, where we keep our spank naughty lists and our stunt casting. What? Listen to episode 1. You can find us on Pinterest @Chicklit Book Club Podcast. You can email us. Please tell us your thoughts, what you're enjoying, maybe what you're not enjoying, at chicklitbookclubpodcast@gmail.com. And you can find us at YouTube. And I'm not reading that URL to you, but
and
you
now
can
I actually fucking download the YouTube. I got a new computer, guys.
Yeah, Ray got a new computer with her stimulus money, so she is...
What? Thank you, President Biden.
Thank you. So she, YouTube will be updated soon. But you can find us there. Just search on YouTube, Chicklit Book Club Podcast. I'm not reading that to you.
Do you want to talk about the next book?
Yes. Okay, so usually I'm super fucking excited about this. I have been waiting to read this with Ray because I've been wanting to read it since I finished the first book. All right, so this episode that we are recording right now will air on March 23rd. So the book that we're choosing for the next episode, which will air on April 6th, is called Beneath the Stands by Emily McIntyre. Let me fucking tell you, this is another book.
It's like rough. It's like, let me fucking tell you about this book.
I often ask my mom how many times a week I embarrass her. She claims none, but I don't fucking believe her.
You don't embarrass me at all, but like I'm just saying, like, and we're happening. It's happening.
We are. It's happening. So Emily McIntyre released her first novel like last year or some shit.
Of course.
It's called Beneath the Stars. It's excellent. It is fucking excellent. I read it and was immediately like, I want to read the next one. But we had already begun like discussions for the podcast, and I was like, well, maybe we should read like the second one for the podcast. So that's what we're doing. So the second book in this thus far 3-book series is called Beneath the Stands. It has been out for a couple months now. However, her third book, Beneath the Hood, releases, which I've just realized is a very intense double entendre. But
I mean, really?
Yes, because technically Jax is like a mechanic.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Anyway, so that's embarrassing. So anyway, Beneath the Hood releases on April 6th. Now, I have been eagerly awaiting not only Beneath the Hood, but Beneath the Stands, because I refused to read it before Ray read it. So we are finally going to read Beneath the Stands by Emily McIntyre, and I cannot fucking wait. I actually ordered a paperback version from her because I have this fantasy of making a bookshelf in my office of all of the paperbacks from the podcast.
Yes.
So it might take just forever to figure out because how am I going to get paperbacks of all these?
I love you.
I love you too. And so I'll put it on TikTok if I finally am like able to figure all this bullshit out, because I don't know that it's possible for every book, but for the ones that it is, I want to get paperbacks of them. So Emily is so sweet, and we've been in contact with her via email and via TikTok. She's so kind. You don't have to read Beneath the Stars to read Beneath the Stands. I do recommend it, but you don't have to. Her third book, I've already pre-ordered it. I will immediately read it as soon as I'm done with the Stands. As soon as Beneath the Hood comes out, I'm fucking reading it. And I know she's working on another one, which I'm really excited about, because it's another character that you meet during Beneath the Stars. And I don't even want to tell you anything about it because I don't want to ruin it. But oh my God, I'm just so excited. She is such a good writer. Like, she's full of angst.
I love my co-host so much. It's not even funny. Like, I'm watching her getting so excited. I'm like, I love this woman. I love her so much.
I love you so much. The thing is, like, Emily McIntyre writes, like, she writes angsty, hot romance. Like, these, it's real hot. And I've not read the second book yet, but I've seen all the TikToks about it. From what I understand, it's even hotter than the first one.
All right.
I think you'll like it.
Okay.
Regardless, I'm super excited about it. We'll put a link in the bio. You can purchase paperbacks from her. It's also available on Kindle and KU. So we'll put a link in the bio if you have not seen it yet. Oh my God, I'm just so excited.
She's excited.
I've been waiting for months to read this book with you.
I'm excited because she's excited.
I think you're really gonna like it.
I'm so excited.
It's
if you guys okay, so anybody out there who has a podcast, if you don't love your co-host as much as I love my co-host, you need to get a new co-host because I love my co-host so much. It's not even funny. Like, I'm watching her right now and I'm like, I love her so much.
I really do have an animated face.
But I just love you. I mean, I loved her beforehand, but I love her now.
I really do get to see you every couple weeks on video now,
which is so nice.
To see you before.
I know. And at some point, we're going to be in the same fucking room, and it's going to be amazing.
Oh, and that episode might be...
I might piss my pants.
I mean, that episode might be long, and y'all are just going to have to deal with it. Like, we're just going to be so excited to be with each other. Yeah. Because it's been so long. I'm going to hug the shit out of you.
I am. All right.
And then I'm probably going to drink too much and cry. So
I mean, that would be normal for me. Anyway.
Prepare for that.
All right. So.
Lovely.
All right. We're going to close out of this right now. We're going to
graciously let y'all go.
All right. I love you.
Happy
and I love my
reading.
Yeah.
I love you all. Thank you so much for your support in this podcast. This has been so much fun for us. We love that you're here for this journey.
Yep. Absolutely.
Happy reading, y'all. Mwah.